Hi, I'm Jim from Gaming Wildlife, and this is my first look. In this series, I'm going to talk about the first impressions I got from some new games that came out. Now, this is by no means a comprehensive review of the entire game, so no worries on the spoiler front. This is just a quick look at the first couple hours of gameplay and what really struck me as new and innovative. And since this is Pokemon Sun and Moon, there's so much to talk about, so I'm not going to cover all the new stuff, just a few of the key points that really hit hard, that made me think, this is so cool, or why has this never been done before? So the first thing that hits you right off the bat is the opening. Now, normally in Pokemon games, it's like a dark room, maybe like one light with the professor standing there and asking you awkward questions like, what time is it, and are you a boy or a girl? Well, in this game, what they did was, it's more of like a FaceTime chat thing on a computer. And he's not just asking you what your gender is, he's saying, what picture do you want to use for your passport? Now that's really cool because it gives you a way of both picking, whether you're a boy or a girl, but also, the minor details, skin tone, hair color. Now it's not a complete character customization thing, and some of those traits can be customized later in the game, but as a way of just getting the game going, without being so fourth wall breaky as the other games are, or so awkward, it's so much better. It feels natural and organic, and you're like, yeah, here's my photo, now let's move on. Next is the Cosmog rescue scene. Now, what could be described as the inciting incident or the event that gets the ball rolling in the story is the scene where you come across this bridge where you meet Lily and her Cosmog friend, and the Cosmog's being attacked by a bunch of Spearows. So your character jumps in, protects the Cosmog from the Spearows, it does this big attack that destroys the bridge, and you and the Cosmog start falling, when suddenly you're rescued by the island guardian, Tapu Koko. He rescues you, he gives you like this, intense stare as you're there with the Cosmog, and it recognizes you for your bravery and your love of Pokemon, and it leaves behind a little reward, this shining stone that eventually you can use to make your Z bracelet thingy for Z moves. Now, I love this because it really kind of added that element of, you're the chosen one kind of thing. And the first thing that really hit me was, this feels like something they would do in the anime. Like, can't you just see Ash in that position? So I decided to go check out the anime, and while it's not exactly the same, there's no Cosmog, there is still a similar thing where Ash meets Tapu Koko, and he impresses him, he gives him the Z Crystal, so Pikachu does this cool Z move that then they only get to use once because they didn't really earn it, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. The point is, I thought this was really cool, and it kind of, again, added to that element of the mythos that your character was more than just this kid that moved into town. He had some sort of, grander destiny, that he was recognized by this great island guardian. Next, the Pokedex / the QR code scanner. Okay, so I love the idea of having Rotom in the Pokedex because, we've had Rotom for a while now, and he's always been shown as this little ghost that could possess random appliances, washing machine, a lawnmower, or whatever. So it kind of makes sense that it could also inhabit the Pokedex. And that presents a lot of really cool aspects. For example, now if something happens in a scene, you can talk to the Pokedex and you can be like, wow, that mansion place is really cool. Maybe we should go over there or something. Like it's really good for people who are either casuals and don't have a lot of time to play or don't remember what they were doing, or some of the younger kids who might not be picking up on the cutscenes. It's a nice way to, keep that fresh in mind. Like, this is what's going on. But what really impressed me is the way they utilize the camera with the Pokedex, or with the Rotom, or whatever. The QR code scanner, but what you can do with that is you can scan QR codes and you'll get information about Pokemon in the Pokedex that you haven't seen yet, and that can tell you things about their location in the game. It's also just a cool way to fill out your Pokedex without having to, catch them. So if you just want to see what's down the line, you can see, oh, that's coming up and I gotta catch that to get more information on it, if you're a Pokedex collector type person. But what really adds to that is after 10 QR code scans, you can do an island-wide scan and find a Pokemon that is not native to Alola. Just by doing that, I found a Gothita and a Luxio, and those aren't native to the area. And that's just a really cool way to kind of bring in Pokemon from outside the game without having to do the trading or the Pokemon bank. So yeah, it's fun. Adds a nice element. Now, everyone knows that you can only carry up to 6 Pokemon with you, and typically in games past, if you catch another Pokemon, it automatically gets transferred to the next open space in your PC box thing. But what I really like that they did with this game is that now, if you catch a new Pokemon, you can choose whether to send it to the box like normal, or if you want to keep it and send another Pokemon to the box. And you know what? That is really freaking smart. It's like, why has this never been a thing before? So like, say for example, you're training a Caterpie or whatever, and you want to make it all the way up to a Butterfree. It evolves into a Butterfree, and then you can catch a new Pokemon, and you can choose to keep that Pokemon and send the Butterfree that you're now done with back to the box without having to walk all the way to the Pokemon Center, open the PC, switch, you get the idea. It's just so freaking convenient. Why has no one ever thought of this? I love it. Now, one thing that's always rubbed me the wrong way a bit with Pokemon is that we hear about how people in Pokemon live in harmony and all this talk about friendship and partners, but I mean, the way we play the games doesn't really reflect that. You know, you build your optimal team to go and, win matches, evolve Pokemon, all that. I mean, who really ever thinks like, I'm just going to have 2 or 3 Pokemon that I really love and just call that good? No one really does that aside from, the NPCs. It always felt like it was something more in line with the anime, seeing how much they work together, how much they loved each other. And this game really helps to add that element. So like, for example, they have this thing called Pokemon Refresh, where after a battle, you can choose, the little icon pops up, to take care of the Pokemon. Now, I mean, they had Pokemon-Ami and X and Y and all that, but I never really utilized it much because it was just feeding and petting. But now, you're in a battle. Did your Pokemon get hit by ground attacks? Okay, you can brush off the dust. Was it hit by a water gun? Okay, you can use a hairdryer and dry it off. Was it poisoned or paralyzed? Rub some medicine on it. And I don't know why, but this just makes it so much more engaging. Like, I feel like I actually care about my Pokemon. I am taking care of my Pokemon. We battle and then I tend to their wounds. And it feels so much more real. It's not just another Pokemon in my slot that, whatever. It feels like I'm really using them and knowing them. And I know it's a small thing, but it just really adds to this world. It builds so much. And on top of that, they've not just put it there, but they've utilized it throughout the game. The ceremonies, when you're picking your Pokemon, and honestly, they're picking you as much as you're picking them. It's such a heartwarming moment to see that little Pokemon walk up to you and then look at you and then just jump into your arms. Like, yes, I like you, I choose you. That's so much more engaging than just pick which Pokeball you want. People will reference things like, they'll say, what if your first Pokemon on your list is your, say, Rowlet? They'll be like, they'll actually comment on like, you and your Rowlet make such a good team, or Rowlet, you take care of them. It just feels so much more real. And then they have the HMs. Thank goodness they took out the HMs. Oh my gosh, everyone hates that. You have to you teach it a move so you can fly or surf, and then it's stuck there unless you find a move deleter. No one wants to carry around Cut or Strength when you don't need it. And now we don't have to waste a party slot for an HM slave. It's like these ride Pokemon are now there, so you can choose, I'm going to ride a Tauros around. I'm going to use a Charizard to fly between regions. I can ride on a Lapras to surf. I don't need to have a surf HM. Now, some of the HMs were turned into TMs, so you can still use them in battle, because, fly and surf were legitimately good moves. At least I think so. But now, it's not a permanent thing. And just like in X and Y, where you could occasionally ride a Rhyhorn or a Go-Goat, but now it's not in specific areas. You can call your Tauros wherever. Okay, you can't ride it into a Pokemon Center, but come on. Now, granted, it's not quite the same level as like the Latios flying in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, but then again, I haven't gotten very far. Maybe something like that does show up along the way. The bottom line is that this game is just so engaging and so innovative for the franchise that I just want to keep playing. I am legitimately interested in all these aspects. I want to know where the story's going. I want to know more about the Island Kahunas and the Trials. I want to know more about the Ultra Beasts and the Island Guardians. What are these things? Are they just regular Pokemon? Are they aliens? Or what are these? I want to know more about the Alolan forms. I want to see more Totem Pokemon. I fell out of Pokemon for a long time, back from like Gen 3 through Gen 5. But then Gen 6 brought me back in with the 3D modeling and the Mega Evolutions, and now Gen 7 has me hooked even harder because there's just so many new things there. So many things I just can't wait to experience. And that's my first look. I'm hooked. I can't say any other way. Pokemon, you got me. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Hope you like this new format, this new channel style. Maybe we'll do another one in the future. If you liked the video, please like and share with your friends, and maybe consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/gamingwildlife. We'd really appreciate anything you can share. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Hey, chat with us on Discord. That's always fun. There's a link in the description below. So what are your thoughts on Pokemon Sun and Moon? Do you like it and are you as hooked as much as I am? Or is there something about it you really don't like? Something that you think, why did they make this change? Let us know in the comments section.